What's up guys, it's your boy Jay the Barber, and today I'm gonna be doing a tutorial. I'm gonna be doing a mid fade with a design on the side, and we're gonna be listening to Lil Chevo, CJ. He's one of my old clients. He's letting me use his music. You guys can follow him on SoundCloud. I'll have his information up, but I'm gonna be showing you guys. I'm gonna try to draw out and point out what I mean whenever I'm explaining to you guys the process. So I started off with the number one, that's my red clip, and I have it open. As you can see, the lever is all the way down, which means it's opened. And next I grab my T outliners and I start my guideline for my design. I start right about the temple and I take it all the way to the back of the head with a wave motion. I'm bringing it down right there, and then I'm gonna bring it back up again. I try to use the T outliners as gently, as possible without trying to apply too much pressure. I do have them adjusted. They are zero gapped. They are uh, custom cut. They have the skeleton cut to it, and I believe it has the Pro Made blade on there as well. And it is a sharpened up blade. It's not stock, or it's not the way that it comes from the factory. I had it get sharpened. And as you see here, I use my wall detailers to bald out, start making my guide for my mid fade. Take it about an inch above the ear, start at the temple, take it an inch above the ear, and just try to keep that line straight around the whole head. Doing the same thing on this side, and just trying to go over it as much as possible to get all the little hairs out. Here I use my shaver, and I take my shaver. At first I take it right below my guideline, maybe about a half an inch right below my guideline, and I pull out. And after that I go over it again under as many times as I need to until I get all the hairs out of there. I like it super bald, as you can tell. Here I have my lever close, and I bring it up about a 1/3 of an inch. As you can see, I repeat the process all around the hair, and I bring it up, 1/3 of an inch all the way around. You want your fade to look even, and you want it to look proportionally the same all the way around. You don't want it to look darker on one side, lighter on the other side. But with the exception of this being a design, here I have my guard open now, and I'm gonna take it right under the design line. I'm not gonna go all the way up to the design line because I want to give it a little bit of darkness. So here, as you can see me, I'm playing with my lever. I'm adjusting it midway, and I'm targeting the line where my guide was at, and I'm just gently tapping it. As you guys can see, I'm giving you guys a tip. So when you guys have your blade or close or more towards the close end of the spectrum, I would say use that on the tighter on the short end of the fade, on the where the least amount of hair is. If you open your blade all the way open, I would say you could, it's better to use that for the areas with the longer hair. So here I have my half guard on, and I'm taking it all the way up to my design line now, because it's gonna keep it a little bit darker than if I just would have gone up with my blade opened instead of it using the guard. So as you guys can see, I'm just using the corners, and I use my brush to brush down any extra hairs, clean it up, make it look nice. Here I repeat the same process that I did on the other side. I start off with my blade being fully open. I take it about half an inch going up, and then as you can see, I repeat the same steps. I play with my lever. I find the midway, and I target the guideline where the guideline that I had before from going up close to the 1.5. As you guys can see, I'm giving you guys another tip. Always use your corners on the darker spots. Here I have my half guard on. I have it opened all the way, and I'm taking it, pretty much right below my guideline of the 1.5. Here I close my blade, and I'm using the corners for the top part of the for the top end of the fade any of the spots that look darker, any of the little spots that might stick out because they're darker, I use the corner and I just flick it out. If, like I said, if you're working on the lower part of the fade, on the shorter part where the hairs are shorter, I use no guard and I just try to use my corners to flick out any little dark spots. Sometimes people have indents on their heads. Sometimes it's natural. You sometimes you won't be able to take out all those little dark spots, but if you use the corner, it'll help out a lot. On the back, I like to use the same steps. I started with it being open, find the midway. I target the guideline line. And as you see, I always try to flick out too. I always do like a little baby flick. I don't really like to do a hard line, or I don't really like to put too much pressure, because then that creates a hard line and it makes the fade more difficult to just to polish it. Just it makes the fade. It gives it a little bit extra, of a challenge. But here, using the same steps, I believe I have my blade closed. You can see I'm just using the corners. There I'm trying to get the dark spots that are on the top of the fade, but I'm not trying to use my full blade, so I'm just using the corners here. I have my blade open. As you guys can see, I wet the hair from the, all the way. I start out from the front middle, and I work my way to the back. And I do it more than once. I do it about 3 times just to make sure that all the hairs are even. This client particularly likes his hair really short. He always tells me that he likes finger length. Even sometimes has me go over it more, shorter if I don't get it right the first time. But this is something that everybody has to practice. If you guys have clients, eventually you get used to it. Here I'm blow drying the hair. I already did my crisscross check. After running the clipper from the front to the back, I like running it sideways, and that helps me eliminate any of the hairs that are like sticking out that I might have missed going from the front to the back. And on here, I'm using my clipper over comb. I'm just slightly leaning the comb on the head because since I use the 1.5. The Oster comb that I'm using is like a perfect match to 1.5. If you lean it right on the head, it should fade out as long as you keep that comb straight out and you don't, angle it too much in. Try to keep the comb angled out, like angled straight. Depending on the hairstyle, you might always have to adjust it differently. As you can see, I also use the corner of the clipper, even when I'm doing clipper over comb, just to get into those little tight spots. And even if I can't get them with those magic clips, I'll use my T-liners just to go over any little dark spots that appeared from doing the clipper over comb over the bulk. As you can see, I'm just using the corners, or I'm just targeting little areas, just trying to polish the fade. Here I'm using a number 2 on his beard, and I'm going up with the number 2. He likes it all the way even with the number 2, so you gotta make sure it's all even. I'm gonna do a fade on his beard, so I'm gonna use my wall detailers to bald out and always, brush out the extra hair. Here you do a reverse. You do the same steps that you would if you were fading up, but instead your motion is down. Your as your clips get bigger, you're fading down. So I first started with it closed all the way. I gently tapped it. I opened it all the way, and then I found a midway point, blended in that, slapped in my 1 guard, which is my red guard, and I'm gently just gonna go right where the guideline was and just airbrush through the bottom part, just to get any of those hairs that just kind of go everywhere. Because his hair is that type. He has the type of hair that goes everywhere. So different clients, different hair, you have to adjust to it. But as you can see, I got done blending it. Now I'm using my Andes T outliners to outline the beard, and I'm just gently going over where he already had it originally shaved. Since it looks like he just shaved it recently, I'm not gonna use the razor or the shaver because I don't want to cause any irritation. So I'm just gonna use my clippers, but I will use the shaver on his lineup I mean, not the shaver. I will use the razor on his lineup and on his design. As you can see, I'm just using the corner of my blade and I'm just gently gliding down at a 45-degree angle. And I'm always stretching out the skin. Look what I do with my thumb on my left hand. With my left hand, you'll see right now that as soon as I'm as soon as I'm done stretching out the skin, I go in with the razor. And then after, I like to just gently go over any of the loose hairs that I might have missed with my T-outliners. So as you can see here, left hand with my thumb stretching out the skin. I like to do a dry shave just because it's less messier. I find it, more precision. I find it, it's mainly it's just less messy, but it always depends if the client has real sensitive skin or even sensitive skin to where it dries out. Eventually you can't use a dry shave. You have to use gel or lather. So on here I styled it and I'm just cleaning out the back of the hair. Always clean out the back and around the ears. Just go over it, make sure that it's always clean. Here I'm giving him the mirror. He's looking at it, he likes it. He says that. So I'm going to show you guys what the right side looks like, a close-up of the fade, and what the left side looks like. Also, I want to give you guys a thank you for watching the video, and if you guys could follow me on Instagram, if you guys want me to make more videos, and if you guys want me to be more detailed, or if you guys want me to make a certain video about a certain haircut, just comment down below. I'm new to this. This was my first video, so, try my best, and I hope to only get better. Thank you.